Nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me, it never left you stealing me. I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. Gates is not the only bill that I've been observing, and not the only bill that I find kind of disturbing. Let's go back to the year 1986 and meet the 99th Congress. What a bunch of dicks. They came up with H.R. 4456, the Child Vaccination Act. And here's a wild, fascinating fact. If your company that you own and they supply the vaccine and somebody died, nobody gets tried in a court of law at all. Problem solved. No retribution, no legal solution. You all scot-free. Watch me. Hop on a plane with Mr. Epstein. Now boarding the Lolita Express. Whoa, look over there, man. Is that Eminem and Stephen Colbert? And look, it's the two Bills, Clinton and Gates. Oh man, and they look like they're hitting on that girl that we met on the plane. The one that was with Ghislaine. I think her name was Courtney. Shit, she's only 14. We need to get the fuck up out of here. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me, it never let you stealing me. I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. Now, let's say that you got a foundation and almost all your donations, they're directed toward the containment of a particular contagion. And one of your experts, he's kind of grouchy, his name is Mr. Fauci. He comes up with an equation. Fear plus persuasion equals the creation of a frightened nation whose panic and lack of education and only wanting just some protection from this agent of infection, they head in your direction and they ask Mr. Bill for their injection. Wanting just protection from this agent of infection. Why don't you go get your shine box? Your direction. Go get your fucking shine box, Tony. Injection. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me and never left you stealing me, I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. Dear Bill, I wrote you, but I keep getting returned to sender. I've even tried your wife Melinda, but she's putting a block on my calls. There's a rumor she might have a cock and balls. I apologize for the cursing. I guess you two are never in the same room at the same time, so people think you might be the same person. But anyway, fuck it, man. What's been up? How's the vaccine biz? I know you wish that everybody was on board like Maxine is. Oh, guess what? My wife's pregnant again. You remember Myrtle? Yeah, I always seem to wind up with the skanks. And what's up with you having 3 kids? I thought Melinda was infertile and you were shooting blanks. And what's up with all these tanks? I see them being transported on a train. Is that for martial law? This shit's getting insane. You remember when I met you in New Delhi and you were complaining that it was really smelly? Well, I asked you if it was safe getting that polio vaccine and you said I was making a great decision. Yeah, well, my daughter's okay, but my son Micah, he lost his vision. Yeah, it's been some time and a lot of tears now. And Micah, he's been blind for years now. He's gotten pretty good at walking with a cane, though. Anyway, hit me up, yo. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me and never left you stealing me, I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Happy Monday, I guess, if you like Mondays and going back to the daily grind, right? How y'all doing? Tomorrow's going to be interesting, right? Tomorrow is the debates. I hope to see everybody there. Maybe a few others, you know. We're going to have a good time during the debates. Gerald in the chat real early, but he had to leave apparently because watching this chat makes you want to take a shower. You know what I mean? Zeus, no one left to impress. Yeah, that's a line in the song. RG. Hey, what's up, RG? How you doing? Good evening to all in the chat. I hope all is doing well. As always, doing better today than I had probably over the weekend. The weekend was kind of rough for me for some reason. Doing brakes on a Dodge. I haven't done brakes on a vehicle since the 90s. I pay other people to do that now. However, now that I'm trying to get into shape and you know, be able to do things on my own, maybe I'll start taking those kind of jobs up. I don't really have a lot of tools. You know, I rent a house. I don't have a garage. So any kind of work I do has to be out in a carport. But you know what? I've been fixing up the truck quite a bit. Here and there, little things, not anything real big, you know, but shoot, you know, trying to make it look nice. Let's see. RG says to hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down if you want. Thank you, RG. Appreciate that. Yes, any thumbs ups and thumbs downs are always greatly appreciated. 43 degrees in Central Texas. Wow. What was it today? I don't know. It was probably right around 100 here.
Yeah. 103.
103. There you go. Let's see. Riddle Girl, good evening. Hope I was all doing well. Okay, that's RG. Yep, doing great. Doing well for my tender young age. Is that what we're calling it now? So tomorrow I do want to do some giveaways. I think all my giveaways are going to be some sort of medal. I hinted in the video that I posted today. I don't know how many of y'all saw it. I don't remember seeing any of your guys' comments. I saw other people's comments, but I don't remember seeing your guys' comments. That's fine, though. But it was all about mail-in voting fraud. Ilhan Omar apparently has somebody that goes out and ballot harvesting. I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently a campaign can go out and get ballots for their boss. Which is, if that's not cronyism, I don't know what is. And I might not know what it is. It was low to mid 60s in Maine. That's pretty good for Maine, I would imagine, at this time of the year. I know in Wisconsin, which is technically, I think Wisconsin's north or more north than Maine. I could be wrong. I'm sure you can correct me if I am, but I remember in September, every once in a while, man, it'd get down to freezing real easy. Snow even. For your area, I doubt it gets below 70. We get below 70 during the winter at night. We actually get below freezing in Phoenix at night in the winter. But all winter long, it should be right around 60 to 70 degrees. Around there. I can't wait to see part 2 of that harvesting. What part 2? I mean, part 2 is kind of tonight, I guess. The ballot harvesting. I didn't make it as a part 1. Did I make it as a part 1? Now you're going to make me check, aren't you? I'm pretty sure I didn't make it as a part 1. All right, guys. Well, that's the intro. Let's go ahead and get to some of the stories. I hope to see you all here tomorrow, man. Gonna give something away. And hopefully y'all can receive it, because some countries it won't be allowed. You know what I mean? All right. Mine is the fairest northern state in the lower 48. Okay. I mean, maybe. I haven't. The last time I looked at a map. Hold on. I'll show you my little thing that I'm doing here. Oh yeah. Depending on where it is, right? Depending on where it is, Maine is a little bit higher up in Wisconsin. But there are parts of Wisconsin that are higher. And yes, I've been working on my quarter collection. I think I have a Maine quarter. I know he said there was a part 2 on the video. Who said that? The harvesting. I can't wait to see part 2 of that. Veritas?
Yeah, so there was.
Oh, Veritas. Sorry about that. For some reason, I thought you were referring to mine, but you were referring to the video I was talking about. All right, great. All right, so apparently, I thought this was a new news story, but looking down here at the date, it says September 24th, so this was 4 days ago. But it's more evidence of voter fraud, so let's watch that. What's up, Peg? You guys can't hear him? That's strange. Okay, hold on. Let's see, settings. Okay. Oh boy, I don't know. You can't hear Tucker. It's funny too, because desktop audio does say that it's playing. Okay, advanced audio properties. Desktop audio. There we go. Maybe I have to do that. All right, let's try it again. Sorry,
You see
Broken
today's
Patriot.
White House press briefing? If you didn't, you missed Democratic operatives posing as reporters, stunned by the idea that mail-in voting might not be totally 100% secure. It was amusing to watch. Of course, the risks of mail-in voting are obvious. The latest example of that came today. DOJ announced that the FBI and the Pennsylvania State Police are investigating fraud in mail-in ballots in Luzerne County. That's the place Donald Trump won by double digits 4 years ago. According to DOJ, several military ballots were, quote, discarded. Investigators have recovered a total of 9 ballots so far. Not surprisingly, the DOJ says an overwhelming majority of those ballots were cast for guess who? Donald Trump. Meanwhile, in Greenville, Wisconsin, authorities announced Tuesday that 3 trays of mail, including mail-in ballots, were discovered in a ditch, not counted, in a ditch. We've seen other examples of this throughout the year, including deliberate mail-in ballot fraud in New Jersey and in West Virginia. Just hours ago, in the state of Texas, the state attorney general announced that a county commissioner and several others have been arrested in an organized mail-in balloting scheme that took place during the 2018 Democratic primary. But to reporters in Washington, this is impossible to believe. For the people doing it, it is confirmation that actually it works pretty well. Last week, judges on Pennsylvania's Supreme Court ruled that mail-in ballots need to be counted well after Election Day. You won't be shocked to know that 5 members of the body that made that decision, 5 out of 7 people on the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, are partisan Democrats. They're elected. They're politicians. Last week in the state of Michigan, a judge called Cynthia Diane Stevens issued a very similar ruling. In fact, she went farther. She mandated ballot harvesting. Ballot harvesting allows paid political operatives to collect ballots in bundles and bring them to polling places. What could go wrong? Well, fraud, for one thing. In fact, fraud's the whole point of it. You should know that Cynthia Diane Stevens is not much of a judge. She's a political activist. You often hear conservatives deride activist judges, but that's not an overstatement in this case. Cynthia Diane Stevens is proud to be an activist. 4 years ago, she appeared at an event at the University of Michigan on equity and inclusion, and she literally gave the crowd advice on how to be an effective activist. Not judge, activist. It's on video if you want to find it. There's nothing partisan judges would like to destroy more in the end than a quick, efficient, fraud-free election night. That's the goal here, make no mistake. If all the votes are counted in one night, no one will have time to issue rulings that throw out ballots they don't like. And that's why judges in Pennsylvania and Michigan want poll workers to count votes for weeks after Election Day. With their rulings last week, they made that essentially inevitable. It'll be a disaster. We know that for certain. We've seen it before. During the Iowa caucuses this past February, we still don't really know who won in Iowa today, 7 months later.
Crazy.
But to the leaders of the Democratic Party, the caucuses weren't a debacle. They were a blueprint for the presidential election, where Joe Biden takes Hillary Clinton's advice and does not concede no matter what happens. All he has to do is smile and wave from his hotel room on election night, and the lawyers will take it from there. That's the plan.
All right. So I got the sound thing fixed. That's good. I haven't heard of them. What, Project Veritas? Imagine cheating in an election and dude posted on Snapchat. It wasn't just him. Apparently there's other people out there that were doing the same dang thing and posting it. Just blatantly. Broken Patriot, welcome to the chat, bro. I was kind of wondering if you were going to make it tonight. He couldn't remember his name in old age. Okay, I love how it's not safe to mail cash, but mail-in ballots, 100% safe. Yeah, there was a meme that I almost used as a thumbnail for this video that said the same thing. And that's why I almost used it, because it is a very good point. Okay. Cash for ballots, massive voting fraud scheme linked to Ilhan Omar. The latest expose by Project Veritas has revealed voting operations in pockets of Minneapolis's Somali community that resemble the warlord-led clans of their native country more than American democracy. Well, that's what they're used to, right? And I guess that's what they want here. Their corrupt and illegal ballot harvesting operations not only elevated Ilhan Omar into office, but also helped secure spots for local city officials. The video report led President Donald Trump on Monday to call for action. Many alleged victims may not even be American citizens, according to the whistleblower Omar Jamal, who works with Ramsey County Sheriff Department and is chairman of the Somali Watchdog Group. Refugees of the war-torn Africa conflict zone are still obliged to undergo the naturalization process before becoming eligible to vote. We have to understand that immigrants mostly here now are first-generation immigrants, Jamal said, through no fault of their own, the new immigrants are learning about democracy from the ballot harvesters, he added, when they get here because of that ignorance, not knowing how all things work. Sometimes they even think it's legal. As a result, many of the political operatives involved in defrauding senior citizens and other members of the Somali community do so brazenly without even trying to conceal their operations. It's an open secret, Jamal said. She, meaning Omar, will do anything she can do to get elected, and she has hundreds of people out on the streets doing that. One operative, Libyan Mohammed, was caught on a July Snapchat video bragging about the number of blank absentee ballots he had collected and appearing to admit to a cash for vote scheme. He claimed to be the brother of Jamal Osman, who won the city's 6th ward council seat in a special election on the same day that Omar's had her primary. Mohammed said he had collected 300 ballots from Osman by 7:30 a.m. that morning. Quote, "Money is everything. Money is the king of this world," he boasted, weaving in and out of English and his native Somali language. "If you got no money, you should not be here, period. You know what I'm saying?" He continued. "Money is everything, and a campaign is managed by money. However, not all the operations pay cash. Some collected ballots from senior living centers where residents simply had their ballots confiscated." Wow. That's just wrong. And other victims reported that the coercion included intimidation tactics. And other victims reported, I already read that. And if you fight, they fight you if you speak up, said one Project Veritas insider. Oof. Special place. There is a special place in hell for people that would abuse children and the elderly. Jamal warned that by shrugging off isolated incidents of systematic vote fraud, the operation risks becoming entrenched in a culture and spreading elsewhere. If American people don't pay attention to what's happening, the country will collapse, he said. My biggest question is, why aren't we hearing about this anywhere? Have you guys seen this on a news story at all? I had one comment today on my video that said the guy had seen a local news story about it, but they preferenced it by saying that Project Veritas was an extreme right-wing organization that often misleads its public, right? So, I don't know. I didn't watch Tucker.
Before you read comments, change that over to live chat.
Riddle girl, I tell you, one of these days. All right, imagine. Okay, read that part. I literally couldn't be more excited to not give a shit. What's up, enthusiastically apathetic? How you doing? Your name is always a pain in my side. Enthusiastically, like literally, I won't get out in the mainstream, or it won't get out in the mainstream. Yep, it won't. And I believe somebody said that they were going to hand their ballot off. Peg, yeah. Peg1122, welcome to the chat, by the way. I appreciate you being here. My absentee ballot is being hand-delivered to a board of elections by a trusted friend. Well, there you go. Well, there's a difference between an absentee ballot and a mail-in ballot. Apparently, an absentee ballot, you have to sign on it, right? There has to be some checks and balances that you are the person who did the voting. These mail-in ballots don't have anything like that. So anybody can fill them out, right? The regulations, if you ignore that and you let corruption become a daily business, then tough luck. The country will not exist as Americans know it, he added. Already, he said Minnesota's statewide Democratic Farmer Labor Party seemed to have turned a blind eye to the operations, if not embraced them. I'm afraid it's too big to stop. Maybe it's too late. Yeah. Here's the problem. They won't get locked up. Back in the day, you would lock these people up. There's plenty of evidence to lock them up. For some reason, we don't want to lock them up. Maybe because the people that would actually lock them up could be locked up themselves. It's kind of like one of those, like, I won't tell on you, you don't tell on me kind of things. You know what I mean? Posted a link to this in the chat. Dude, I did a whole video on this, but okay. Let's see. And you can definitely check Project Veritas. I mean, it's on YouTube. I had a link to that video on my video earlier today. All right, moving on from that, Senate Democrats refuse meetings with illegitimate SCOTUS nominee Barrett. Several unhinged Senate Democrats say they will not meet with Amy Coney Barrett, whom President Trump nominated for the Supreme Court. This is an illegitimate nomination, said Senator Jeff Merkley, according to Politico. I personally have no desire to pretend it's acceptable. They do not want to acknowledge Barrett, who may believe that the Supreme Court should stop unconstitutional lawmaking and overturn Roe v. Wade. With the aid of corporate media, Democrats still draw inaccurate comparisons between Barrett and Merrick Garland, the Obama nominee who's Senate Republican. Yeah, and we pointed this out a few times on the chat. Different situation, right? Obama was a lame duck. Trump is not. And it wasn't a constitutional thing back when Obama had Merrick Garland up, you know. Sure, they could have done it, but Mitch McConnell decided not to because he had control of the Senate. You know, elections have consequences kind of thing, right? Well, this time the Republicans have the Senate, and it's not a lame duck president, so totally different standard. And neither time, though, was it unconstitutional to do whatever they did. Or constitutional, right? It doesn't, I don't know. With the aid of the corporate media, Democrats still draw inaccurate... Oh, I already read that. Let's see. Sorry, I haven't been home all day. No, it's all right. Okay. In that situation, the Democrats did not control both the presidency and the Senate, so Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said the will of the people was not certain. But in 2018 midterm, shortly after Democrats failed an attempt to block the confirmation of Trump's second pick, Justice Kavanaugh, by using unsubstantiated rape smears, the GOP added more seats to its Senate majority. Yeah, you know, you want to know why? Because people were pissed off. Even the Democrats, reasonable Democrats out there that have common sense, saw what was going on with Kavanaugh and called BS, right? And that's why they won't personally probably attack Barrett this go around, because of the fact that they don't want to have the Kavanaugh effect again, right? That's what the Kavanaugh effect is considered. 1 second. All right. Despite a clear mandate, Democrats continue to have sour grapes over what they perceive to be the loss of a liberal court seat to upset the tenuous ideological balance of the court. Senator Bob Casey said no, he will not speak with the nominee because he already knows she will oppose his left-wing agenda. Why would you meet with somebody if you already know where they're going to be on every case? How about with the Constitution? Somebody in Hawaii was attacked judicial nominees in the past for their Christian beliefs, says she does not need to talk to the nominee in private because you already attacked Christians. Great. Whatever she has to say to me, she should say it under oath, she said. On the other hand, Senator Joe Manchin said he would love to meet with the nominee. He voted to confirm both Justice Neil Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, casting the only Democratic vote in favor of the latter, after receiving assurances that he would not be the deciding vote. Ooh. Manchin said, however, that he does not support a confirmation vote prior to the November 3rd election. Yeah. The president has not even put forward a nominee yet, he said last week, prior to Trump's Saturday announcement. This is pure politics from Senate Democrats and shows they do not take their constitutional duty to advise and consent seriously. Wow. That statement right there, that's an understatement right there. You mean they don't take their constitutional duty seriously on that issue? How about on any issue, right? What issue do they take their constitutional duty seriously? Because they keep going after lots of constitutional amendments that they don't like. Or at least one, right? We all know that. RG Part 2 is out. It is on Project Veritas YouTube channel. Okay, cool. I might cover that tomorrow. I'm not going to cover it tonight, though. But yeah, definitely go check out Part 2. Bernie backers. They say vote for Biden, even though he sucks and deserves to lose. So here's a story that references my whole point when it comes to Trump has people who believe in Trump, right? People who are pro-Trump, who rock the Trump flags, who rock the Trump merch, who wear the MAGA hats, right? You don't have that with Joe Biden. You have the far right who will vote for Trump no matter what. And then you have the far, far left who's going to vote for the Democrat nominee no matter what. Right? But that's how it is no matter what. Now, I don't know. There's no excitement. Right? There's a lot of people who are not far, far right. And I'm talking real far right. Right? I would consider myself far, far right. Or conservative. Right? But the excitement is just not there for people in the middle. Democrats. Whereas the excitement is there for Trump voters in the middle. People who were Democrats and now Republicans. People who never really paid attention until their cities started to burn. Those are the people who are excited to vote for Trump this year. Who's excited to vote for Biden? Anybody who doesn't like Trump. Democratic Joe Biden, empty and uninspiring presidential candidacy has become so obvious that the leftist, not him, us campaign has openly declared we've got our own reasons to vote for Biden and Joe ain't one. The campaign's premise is that far left self-identified revolutionaries do not have the candidate to vote for after the failure of socialist Bernie Sanders, but that Democrats must vote against President Trump. The Not Him, Us movement shares strategic maxims and testimonials from supporters that reveal two truths about the Biden campaign. The campaign lacks energetic and enthusiastic supporters, and it is being controlled by the leftists. One maxim is that Democrats may deserve to lose, but working people can't afford Trump to win. Other rationales advanced at himnotus.org is we can't count on the Democratic Party to defeat Trump. Vote today for the candidate you want to pressure tomorrow. Things get worse, won't get us closer to things getting better. This doesn't sound like the language of an Little girl, help me out here. What's that? Ascendant?
Yeah.
This doesn't sound like the language of an ascendant movement, and yet the group desperately claims it might not feel like right now, but our movements are starting to win. The testimonials likewise have despairing tone that will not push enthusiastic voters to the polls. Yeah. Many Democrats blame the Bernie bros for Hillary Clinton's loss in 2016 because they treated her candidacy in a similar way, which weakened turnout among young socialists. Well, they thought that they got robbed because Bernie got screwed, and Bernie got screwed again this year. Right? The page features quotes from Harvard professor Cornel West, who espouses anti-white critical race theory and advocates for Marxism, gives away the group's intentions. A vote for Joe Biden, a way of preserving the condition for the possibility of any kind of democratic practice in the United States, West said. Wow. Our struggle goes way beyond elections. We're in the streets. We're talking to our neighbors. We're organizing our workplaces. But who controls the presidency profoundly limits or expands the range of what's politically possible for all of our struggles. We're voting for a more favorable terrain. There's going to be a civil war. I mean, technically, I believe there already is. We've already seen fighting in the street, right? We've already seen National Guards called in. I think that with Trump getting a new Supreme Court picked, if Trump wins the re-election somehow throughout, even though with all the voting fraud, yeah, I could see it happening. People just can't. People are too unhinged. I don't think we get this back. Right? It's either going to be an economic collapse where the dollar crashes, or it's going to be a civil war, or it's going to be both. It's just and I'm a very uneducated fella, so take that for whatever you want. All right, that's all I got for that story. Officer charged in Breonna Taylor raid pleads not guilty. This is the a-hole who decided to unload 10 rounds into a neighbor's apartment complex. Former Louisville police officer pleaded not guilty to wanton endangerment on Monday for allegedly wildly firing shots that entered the apartment of neighbors of Breonna Taylor during that raid that led to her death. setting the stage for a high-profile trial that many activists and members of Taylor's family are calling inadequate and disappointing response to her death. The dude does have the, the guy does have the right to plead not guilty. Whether he is or not, that's not for me to decide, but if you're going to court, you have the right to plead not guilty. But yet there's more riots in Louisville supposedly tonight. All right. Part 2 is already that. Check out the third ad up in the story. Google bans YouTube competition. Yep, we're doing that. You're getting ahead of yourself, Broken Patriot. Yep. Former Detective Brent Hinkinson was arraigned in Louisville on Monday afternoon, where he pled not guilty to 3 counts of wanton endangerment. A judge said Hinkinson cannot possess a firearm during his trial, which is probably a good thing, despite a request from Hinkinson's lawyer that he keep a gun for self-defense. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of pro-Blue Lives Matter people out there that are going to donate to your GoFundMe page. I don't know if he has one. I bet you he has a GoFundMe page. But I'm sure they're going to donate to your GoFundMe page. You're going to have some of your police buddies there protecting your house. You're going to be fine. Hinkinson and the 2 other officers broke down the door at Taylor's home. Yeah, we already know that. Yeah, that's all I got for that one. That's all I got for that one. So, yes. This one right here. Google bans racy YouTube competitor LBRY while okaying pornographic cuties. Google, which owns YouTube via parent company Alphabet, removed a video streaming competitor from the Google Play Store on the pretext that the platform allows pornographic material. LBRY is a blockchain-based decentralized YouTube alternative that has been established in a way that prevents corporate censorship, which threatens Google's grasp on the video sharing market. More than 100,000 people have downloaded the LBRY app. Google doesn't believe you should be allowed to decide for yourself about what you want to read, watch, or hear, LBRY said in a tweet. They think they should decide for you. The company's Twitter handle, at lbry.com, or just com, described the circumstances surrounding its removal from the Google App Store. The image on the left was cited by Google as why LBRY Android was banned from the Play Store. It's a comedic scene without explicit nudity in a skit written by a Hollywood writer. I'm guessing it's this one here. The image on the right is from a film still available via the Play Store. So let's see what that is. Oh, okay. So this is the one they're banning. This is the one that's okay, right? I guess I have to go back. Hold on. Slow internet tonight, probably because I'm streaming. The name of the short film LBRY Android was banned for is For the Record. You can watch it here if you click that link. There is nothing that is pornographic. Google is just getting scared of us and is going to begin pulling out all the stops. Google said the short film violated the company's policy on sexual content and profanity. Whether For the Record constitutes pornographic is up for debate, but Google's double standard is clear. The Google Play Store still carries the Netflix app, despite many films on the platform that contain more explicitly sexual material, including the film Cuties, that sexualize pubescent girls. Libertarians and progressives often agree that conservatives should stop complaining about the corporate technology censorship, since they can start their own platform. Yeah, good luck competing with Google, right? But Google's monopoly power over the internet and app access makes it difficult for new platforms to develop an audience. The tech giants is one of the several, including Facebook, Twitter, Apple, and Amazon, and they all look out for themselves. I don't know, man. They're going to have their own Lives Matter slogan pretty soon. They have come under growing bipartisan scrutiny for their predatory practices amid growing calls to end antitrust legislation. During recent testimony before the House Judiciary Committee, CEO Sundar Pichai staunchly denied the companies engaged in illegal monopolistic practices, as well as insisting it did not practice censorship of conservative viewpoints. Wow, that is totally BS. They censor me all the time. I'm always demonetized when I go live. Yeah, it starts off monetized, but they demonetize me before I'm done, right? And I don't think I get anything from this. I have been pretty good with my videos that I post throughout the day to keep the swear words down and keep all the trigger words down and stuff like that. But I can guarantee you right now, if I upload a video of me shooting a firearm, which is totally protected under the Second Amendment, right? I have every right to keep, to own, and to bear, to have on me, the use of arms, right? And so going out to the range and shooting video of me shooting should be fine, right? But no, I get demonetized because they already know. They have bots out there that can pick up the sound of the gunshots, and you're automatic. I get demonetized on that before the video is even done processing, right? You're going to tell me there's not a conservative biased. Please. There is considerable evidence to the contrary supporting both allegations. So here we go. LBRY.com. It's time to take back control from YouTube and Amazon. Top creators, self-respecting users, the privacy-conscious, computer geeks, freedom lovers, lovable kooks. There we go. And readers of a small gray text everywhere choose LBRY because it's open, fair, and free. You can download it for Windows, open it in a browser, and show all platforms. LBRY is secure, open, and community-run digital marketplace. Enjoy the latest content from your favorite creators as a user, not a product. See previews of the LBRY app, yada yada. So there you go. If you're interested in that, I'm kind of interested in that. I haven't really looked into it too much yet. I think I will. Right now, I'm trying out BitChute, but I keep uploading videos to BitChute, including every evening catch-up, and sometimes they process and sometimes they don't. And it takes a while, especially for these live chats when I record them. It takes a while for those to get uploaded, right? And so it's kind of like, well, I don't want to delete it and try again, you know? It's been it was too much effort at that time. So I don't know. I am kind of looking for a different platform. I also now have Subscribestar. I should be promoting that, but I haven't decided what I'm going to give you all for joining me on Subscribestar. We'll have to figure something out. I do have a Discord server. Maybe we'll do something with that. Who knows? All right, Trump. His taxes apparently came out for 2016, 2017, right? And big surprise, he didn't pay much. A New York Times story based on Donald Trump's long-sought-after tax data shows he avoided paying income tax for most of the past 2 decades and only paid $750 the year he was elected president. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean he isn't a billionaire. By pairing money-making businesses with specular money losers, the Trump organization has been able to shield profits generated by office properties and The Apprentice from tax collectors. Yep. Apparently I have to log in order to read the most of that. But I just wanted to touch on that anyway. So yeah, there is the story that Trump has avoided taxes. Okay. Who doesn't want to avoid taxes? The thing is, the only people that pay taxes, and a lot of rich people will tell you this, the only people that pay taxes are suckers. Right? There's so many ways around it. And it's not Donald Trump's fault. It's the system's fault. Right? If Donald Trump wanted to fix it, could he? I don't know. Maybe. Isn't that you guys tell me. How do you fix the tax code? Personally, I would love to see a 10% flat tax. Right? Everybody pays 10%. Screw sales tax. Screw work tax. Well, I guess you could do it income tax. I don't know. Right? But just a flat 10%. One-time tax. None of this tax it and then tax it again crap, right? Tax it when you get a paycheck and then tax it again when you spend it. No. All right, and let's see. We have DOJ gives Epstein-like slap on the wrist to JP Morgan Chase. And we covered this story, I believe, a day or so ago, or I guess Friday or Thursday. I'm not exactly sure when. But this was, they were helping pay off Jeffrey Epstein, or they were, funneling his money through their bank, and they were supposedly in trouble for that. Stefan Mickenberg, hey, greetings from Europe. Hey, how you doing, Stefan? Welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for joining. Apologize, I don't have much European news stories. I guess this one kind of counts a little bit because it has something to do with it. Gold and silver investors may have little in common with Jeffrey Epstein's teenage victims or violent BLM rioters, but there is one issue upon they might all agree. Our system of justice often fails. Department of Justice officials refuse to apply the rule of law fairly. The Declaration of Duty is crushing confidence and generating outrage. Last week, the DOJ ended the criminal prosecution of JP Morgan Chase Bank. Wow. Settling for a $1 billion fine, which ain't nothing to them. No high-level executives will be sent to prison, and the bank's trading privileges will not be limited in any way. Bank executives will simply write a check equivalent to less than 3% of 2019's net profits. Less than 3% of their profits. Wow. Yeah, justice. We have an issue in this country. Why aren't our politicians going to jail? Why isn't Ilhan Omar going to jail? Why isn't violent protesters going to jail briefly and then getting right out? Why aren't we going after Biden, Biden's son, and Biden himself? Why isn't Hillary Clinton locked up? If me and you were subpoenaed by the FBI and then we deleted 30,000 emails that were subpoenaed, don't you think we would be in jail? This has got to stop. So if we ever do go to a civil war, I don't know, man. I kind of hope it's also technically a revolutionary war, because we need to get back to true justice, however possible. Nothing happened due to EP story, asked the High Mason. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. It was great public relations when DOJ officials announced the criminal inquiry and invoked the RICO laws. Victims of the bank might have assumed investigators planned to throw the book at JP Morgan. The Department of Justice should only be counted on to make sure well-connected and ultra-wealthy criminals are never held responsible for their deeds, whether it be JP Morgan executives or the people in Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. Well, you know what? At some point, the American people are going to have to dish out the justice, because obviously it's not going to happen any other way. This is why the public dished out its own justice back in the day. And this is why it will happen again at some point, because people are going to get tired. I mean, I'm getting tired. People are going to get real tired of the wealthy and the well-connected getting away with whatever they want to get away with because of reasons. The penalty won't even begin to match victims' losses or the bank's ill-gotten gains occurred during the years of crooked trading. And it certainly isn't significant to make the bank think twice about cheating again, other than to perhaps do a better job of covering tracks. Wall Street's sharpest criminals have figured it out. The trick is to operate inside a public company and to make sure politicians and regulators are well greased. The site jpmadoff.com has a clever way of laying out just what a massive criminal enterprise the Wall Street behemoth is. There are dozens of frauds and hundreds of thousands of victims. The company may occasionally get prosecuted and pay some fines, but the corporate shell, which of course can't be sent to prison, takes what little heat there is from authorities, and shareholders take care of the fines. The best hope metal investors have for actual justice remain with civil courts. Class action suits against JP Morgan put a pause while the DOJ performed its sham prosecution should soon resume. Attorneys have a cornucopia of damning evidence, including documents, chat logs, and voice recordings. There will be presenting to juries rather than to the bought and paid for regulators with a rap sheet as long as terrible as JP Morgan's. We can hope these juries will be far less sympathetic than the bureaucrats at the DOJ. And that is true. All the peoples around the world are stupid giving her votes to criminals. Or criminals? All right. And lastly, I got another. This one's actually from today. It's very short. It's only a minute and a half. So we're going to watch this. I thought this was funny. Yet another rules for thee, but not for me. We know how this works, right?
Well, that was news footage from June, just this June, when California Senator Dianne Feinstein wrote a letter to the FAA demanding everyone wear masks in airports. Feinstein wrote that we need a mandatory mask policy for all airport and airline employees and passengers, end quote. Feinstein claimed the agency had, quote, sowed confusion among passengers about whether masks are necessary. But they are necessary, says Dianne Feinstein. Not wearing them is very dangerous given the coronavirus. Well, given that, today, this show exclusively obtained photographs of, and this is going to rock your world, Dianne Feinstein in a private terminal at Dulles Airport, an FBO, as they say in private aviation, on Friday. In the photographs, Feinstein can be seen smiling without a mask on. One might even say she's sowing confusion about whether or not masks are necessary. A pilot with a mask is walking in front of her, carrying a bag and a dog. We reached out to Dianne Feinstein's office about these photographs. We haven't heard back. We can be sure of one thing. This isn't really Dianne Feinstein's fault. Just like when the hair salon framed Nancy Pelosi, caught not wearing a mask while getting her hair done, Dulles Airport, the diabolical FBO, probably masterminded the whole thing.
There you go.
We're going to stay on top of this story and bring you more evidence of the airport's guilt as we inevitably find it.
All right. Those are the stories that I have for you on this Monday evening. I want to thank everybody for joining me for sure. Let's cover the chat a little bit. So before we go, make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed the video. If not, leave a dislike, because that's always nice as well. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, as that's the best way to know when I post anything here on the channel. And apparently my thing is behind something. Hold on a second. There we go. Nope. There we go. Sorry about that. Now, I hope to see everybody tomorrow night at the chat that we're going to be doing. We're going to be holding a live stream event for, there we go, a live stream event for the debate between President Trump and Joe Biden. Is anybody else hyped for this? Because I know I sure am. Little girl, what's the back button? Never mind, I already got it. It's already here. I am very hyped for that. There will be giveaways there. I think I announced the giveaways on the video today as well. So hopefully we'll see everybody there. Now, before you all go, there is descriptions below. Excuse me. In those descriptions, except for the people that are watching on DLive, apparently they changed how many. Excuse me. They changed how many wording or how many words I can have, how many letters I can have on DLive. But anyway, the description is down below. Adam Lawson's Blessed. That's the song that comes on before I come on live. So if you like that song, that's where you should watch it. Next is Causes I Believe in and Support. Justice for Cannon. He's the 5-year-old boy who got shot in the head by his neighbor, which you will not see on the news because his neighbor was black and the little boy was white. But he had a GoFundMe page for his family. Kyle Rittenhouse. If you want to donate to Kyle Rittenhouse, I have the link for that in the descriptions below. We also have Ryan Whitaker's murder that happened here in Phoenix by the hands of Phoenix police that you also won't hear on the news because he's the wrong skin color, as you know. But if you want to find out more about him, I'd go to his Facebook page, Justice for Ryan Whitaker. And he also has a GoFund, or his family has a GoFundMe page because he is no longer with us. Next is help find our missing in action with projectrecover.org. That's an organization that goes out and looks for lost service members and brings their remains back to their families. And lastly is Rally Point Irish. My good friend Irish USMC vet has a GoFundMe set up for trying to start up a location in Tennessee where veterans can come live room and board free while learning a new skill like farming, gardening, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing. Next is all the ways you can support this channel if you so desire to do so. It's always welcome. If you don't want to support the channel monetarily, a like, a subscription, or a share is the best ways that you can help this channel out. And I do appreciate every single one of them. Next and last is all the different places that you can follow me, including DLive, Facebook, YouTube, Parler, BitChute, and yeah, I said all those, right? Okay. So those are the links in the descriptions. Thank you very much for watching. Your bell is only 34 minutes behind. Okay?
Notification bell?
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Well, you were here super early. I mean, I'm sure it rings when I actually go live. I don't know if it rings your bell when I first set up the stream, right? Because I usually try to set the stream up around 9 o'clock. I think I was a little late today. I didn't get it up until like 9:30, right? So I don't know if it does that.
Now for me, when I get a notification when you set it up, and it'll go like, oh, Poison Stinger's going live in 34 minutes or whatever,
Okay.
right? And then you can tell it to set a reminder, and then when you go live, it pops up again.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to make sure to set a reminder for tomorrow evening's chat for the live stream event of the presidential debate. I'll probably set that up a couple hours beforehand because I want to try to get all my I's dotted and my T's crossed because I don't want that one to go bad on me. Yeah, this was half over when I got the notice. Well, you were in here early, weren't you? Or maybe, yeah. I know you were in here early and maybe you had to leave again or something, then didn't get it. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody for joining and hitting the like button and subscribing and all the good stuff. Thank you very much for doing that. Until tomorrow afternoon/evening, keep that family close. Watch out for the government and try to live as free as you can in this tyrannical time that we find ourselves in. Until tomorrow, man. Peace.